Hello, welcome to an episode of Phi Mapping. Today we're going to look at a lion. Indeed, these two lions. This great picture here. I'm not sure where the picture came or who took the picture, but it's a great one. Gives us two nice clean perspectives. Excellent. These are the maps we're going to use, two different types, the Phi spiral and the Fibonacci line. Learn more about those, check out how to make a phi map. So right off the bat we're going to try and find just some basic iteration of phi. What is the master rectangle of phi that we can establish here? We go right to the head as the obvious one. You have to anchor it on something objective, something real. So, what that looks like right off the bat is this type of thing. Ears right in that square. Eyes just inside and right above. Right there, the bottom of the body. So it's kind of staying in between these two lines. Body's a little cockeyed and a little bit wider, but well, if we go right to the top of the ears, to be fair, that will widen that a little bit. So it's roughly, roughly that width. And if we go without the head, which you could argue for the neck is somewhere like that. And what I'm getting at is how wide it is. So let's go to the width. Yeah, so it wants to be like that, which is that type of rectangle. Sort of two phi squares joined to each other in a harmonic spot. So they overlap well. Just not sure what the ultimate ratio or dimension of that is, but yeah, a little off center. So then if we go to the width of the head, say, which is more or less like this, right to the top of the ears, that's going to put the eyes right in there, nose right there. I mean, look at that, that's all, look at that, right in the nostrils there. That's interesting. Theoretically, this is going to work well with the phi spiral. Even to see that brown spot on the head right between those two lines. Okay, would you look at that? Just look at it though. Excellent. So, on that note, actually let's try the circles first. They will all give us a nice interesting pattern. So these are 4 circles, all phi scaled to each other. And they're on a center. They're centered on each other. It's hard to say where the chin is with the fur and everything, but it looks to me like, well, there, yeah. That's certainly one way. So you might also argue yeah, you might also argue something like that. Not just for the top of the nose, but in terms of the whole ear, something like that. Right? Oh, maybe it's coming right off. This one, as big as the paws. Getting there. As big as the legs, though. And as big as the mouth area. And in fact, that probably hinges right on the mouth, actually. I'm going to say it's something like this. And even less than the mouth, it's actually like the throat inside, probably. Yep. Yes. So, okay. Actually, let's take those down to this guy and try it from the side profile. That was pretty effective. That was highly, highly effective. I mean, these circles are all, this line is definitely 5. So we take this one, make the big one the size of, what, the head. Just like that, roughly. right on the whiskers. Yeah, that's a very important part. Right. Okay, cool. So let's try a phi spiral map. That one often gives us good results, especially with, well, with lots of stuff. It's hard to say, actually, I don't know. Well, that right off the bat fits the dome of the head pretty well there. Yeah. Doing the nose very well, right up to the eyes. Going all around the eyes. Definitely doing that crook on the head there, that angle of the head. Not the full head, obviously. In order to get the full head, possibly needs to be the width of the body. There we go. There we go. Getting in like that. We put the spiral right around the eye, so yeah. So it has to be even smaller. See all those spirals, those, yeah, look at this, watch this. Yeah, basically. No, it's not exactly the shape of the eye. That's a major thing that's happening there. And tons lost on 2D, 3D, but that's a major one. That might, in fact, be the main one. I would say that's the main one. Goes right under the chin there. Very cool. Go right to the head, what happens? Look, we almost even get that V of the lips there. Yeah, no, from the top of the head right to the, basically the mouth. Yeah, right around there. Right, almost right between the ears to the mouth. Eyes right on the spiral, nostrils on the spiral, back of the nostrils, that V right in the mouth. Whisker area. Yeah. And sideways of the same dimension. Talks about the top of the head here very well. So we get that major arch up there, spirals close to the eyes. See, it still wants to be a little bit smaller though, doesn't it? Or bigger. I mean, that the pupils are right there. In my mind, the pupil should be right in that spiral. If we force it and make the pupils right in the spiral, right in the middle of the spiral, right? Just goes on to infinity. Yeah, so it's some fudge version of that. But that's too, and I mean, look, that's almost the shape of the eye right there. Even shrink it down more. Like if you just isolated that part. It's almost like that. Unless. Yeah, the eye's almost doing a 90-degree corner with that relative slope. And the pupil in there somewhere, but it's not, the pupil's not exactly there, but whew, it is some close. And what is that saying? That's like halfway across. So you'd need two of these, like this. Is that what you're saying? And if we take that shape and move it down to here, do we figure it out? Kinda. Well, a little bit. I mean, there's a major power of suggestion happening here, but yeah, you can see elements of it. Or we'll just take one of those because we don't need them so wide. Just use that same scale. Yep, that works also in a different way. Yeah, well, you can see that if you keep fudging with that, you're going to find definitely some major phi harmonies. That was a good map. That was an excellent map, and actually it was so good. Let's try it again, the side profile. That's probably it. Could probably stop exploring there. This line is definitely heavily phi, and heavily phi spiral too. But since we have all the other maps, we'll check them out anyway, just for some relative information. Yeah, I mean, am I crazy, or those shadows are fitting these lines pretty well also? Putting the eye right there, little pyramid. I think separating the mouth, or the whisker area, very well. Sort of doing the nose, a bit of the spiral. I think that is internal maybe. Doing the ear very well. Then, how's that? Yeah. Now I'd have to know more about the rest of the body. Okay. Let's try the opposite of that map. Go with the Fibonacci line map. Now I'll go to the top of the head. Top of the head to the bottom of the feet. Width of the body seems to be a more relevant, which again is really most of the body, in that there's a little bit, the ears are extending a little bit beyond, and the legs extend beyond this core phi rectangle here. brown spot, brown spot, brown spot. Ears like that. Eyes right there, eh? If we take that and go down to the feet, now this is a good map because it shows a particular spot where they harmonize. So in terms of finding harmony, this is the main harmony between these two maps, where those lines all align like that. And lo and behold, it goes right to the feet. Of course it does. So the phi width of that is 2 maps high. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Try that one with this profile face. This beautiful creature. This big, thick head here. Might imagine there's something like that happening too. Just gonna give this cross right about where the ear is there, just under the eye, and that just really bisecting the eye really well. It's entirely possible the pupil's right, yeah, right there. It's doing that nose break really well. Man, look at that. Aspects of it, right? And whittling down this mouth pretty well. Yeah, that's a neat one. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. So in the off chance that we missed one here by going vertical, let's try one horizontal, which is roughly, so just so happens in this photograph where they're fairly close to each other, that, and depending on how big these lines are relative to each other, but that part of the head is basically the same as the width of this one's head. The width of this one's body, anyway. There, right on the mouth. And then, like, are you going to the fur? You go into the skin underneath? So that's getting at it. Where, what's, and what is supposed to be happening? I mean, clearly, these are highly connected shapes here. I would say, anyway. The question is, how are they supposed to be connected? That X would be, oh, maybe it's just the front muzzle there. Yeah, look at that. Is that right? Ah, I don't know. No. Maybe. I mean, aspects, right? But certainly that V fits really well. That doesn't totally work down there, unless it has to be even smaller. No, those are never gonna fit. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Okay. So let's try one more of those, a circle pattern. Let's try this kind of, yeah, we'll try this one. It's kind of a neat circle pattern. We'll go to the width of the animal. More or less. Look at that. This little thing ends right there. That's hilarious. Does the ears pretty well. Right through the eyes. Could the eyes center? No, because it'll throw these ear things off. But does that arc right between the ears very well? It's like the inverse of the actual head there. In fact, if that is true, then this should be a little bit narrower, shouldn't it? And up a little bit, which would make it all line. Yeah, getting close to those pupils, a little bit smaller. And it is something powerfully like this. Yes, good lord, look at that. I think those lines, those crosses are not on the pupils, but are really close. And when you do that, it does all these. Wow. See if there's a natural way that these line up, which of course is going to be just like, well, that, yeah, it's going to be that. So that makes down here, yeah, right on the paws again. Okay, that's a cool one. Then that same map, same size, rotated this way, will not. If we scale that down, 61.8%, so it's relative to the map on the other lion. Yeah, they're very similar sized lines, and the side profile is a phi dimension of the front profile. It's kind of what's being suggested here. What about the opposite of the phi map, the inverse of the phi map? Just to the top of the head. It's almost cupping the bottom of that eye and talking about the pupil. Like if it was that wide and placed right there and turned a tiny little bit. Also this brown. It's doing parts of those eyes really well. Yeah. Yeah. And if we take that one, put it here. Oh yeah, there. Maybe. Yeah, if it had its jaw wide open, I wonder if that would fit its jaw, its open mouth somehow. Doing that eye thing, but doing the nose really well. Cool. Very cool. This one fits really well from this distance. In fact, that might be one of the best ones. Let's try the Phi Spiral. Yeah, this one is just so beautifully Phi Spiral type. This is the Tri-Spiral. Almost doing that. Yeah, elements of it. That's starting to do the mouth. So it was just from the eye to eye. Even, yeah. Maybe that's it. Look at the little vortex right there, and there, and there, and there. And that's not exactly the shape of the eye, but it's a little bit the shape of this inside nose snout area. Boy, that's hard to say. Yeah, definitely it's quite a bit of the nose. Interesting on the nose. And that is that, which then, as you rotate it directly, that puts a spiral almost right there in the iris. And talks a little bit about this cheek area. Sorta, not really. Maybe it's down here. Yeah, oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at this and that line. Yeah, it's fitting there very nicely. And sort of between the eyes. There's almost those lines directly. To make it a little bigger though. Anyway, this is a real chaser game, but there's a lot of elements here. Yeah, that's fitting there. In which case we would have that above. We'll put spirals in the eye area, but well, we could go right. Must be off the dome of the head. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Look at the, not that ear, but that ear, or some other animal's ears that have more pointy ears, but yeah. Yeah, I like how it's sweeping through the eye there. It's more like this, really. It's crossing on the pupil. Cool. Actually, let's take that one down here and see if works the same there too. Yeah, going into the mouth. Going into the nose. Look at that shape. Does that line up? Look at the back of that nose. It's... good lord, man. Right on the eye. Doing this ear cavity and then some mouth stuff. Man, it nails that nose though. Crazy. Craziness. I think that's pretty good. I would say that that has an exorbitant amount of phi in it. Just a very beautiful amount of phi in it. And I'm really happy about that, because it's nice when it works out perfectly, because sometimes you just can't find them. The phi might be there, so just because I can't find it doesn't mean it's not there. But then you come across ones like this where they just constantly line up in these points, and it just makes you think that, well, maybe it is phi. Maybe phi is intimately connected to the nature of our reality. And if that is the case, then even more than y is, then what do we do with that? What is that saying? Awesome. That's another good one. Yeah. Okay. The lion is certainly a phi animal. Thanks, guys. That was a great one. We will hopefully see you on the next one and have as good of results. That was great. Thanks a lot. Have a great day out there. Take care and be safe. Bye.